Morning, ma'am.
So, hello students. Today we'll continue again with unit number 1 and topic number 4, which is types of foundation and its construction methods, part 2. In a previous class we did for part 1 and this is part 2 in continuation. So, in continuation with our previous class, our next topic is method of construction of steel grillage foundation. So, the first point is for constructing steel grillage foundation, a trench is excavated to the calculated width and about 0.90 meters to 1.50 meters deep. The bottom of the trench is rammed and leveled. 2. Then a layer of lean cement concrete in the ratio of 1:8:16, which is about 30 centimeter thick, is laid and compacted. 3. After this, a layer of rich cement concrete in the ratio of 1:2:4, about 15 centimeters thick, is spread and compacted to form a concrete bed. 4. Over the concrete bed that was prepared or that is prepared, the bottom tier consisting of a number of steel I-beams of design dimensions are placed at specified distance apart, so using spacer bars. So the space in between and around the steel beams is then filled with cement concrete. 5. On this bottom tier, a second layer of steel of I-beam is placed if required. 6. The entire space is then filled with cement concrete in the ratio of 1:2:4. And then on the grillage bed that is prepared, the structure in the form of a steel stanchion column pier is built. Regarding steel grillage foundation, we have already seen a detailed explanation in our last class itself through the video. So this is just the theory part of it. Next, for timber grillage foundation construction. 1. Wooden planks, usually 5 to 8 cm in thickness, are laid side by side longitudinally on the prepared bed of the trench excavated for this purpose. 2. The planks should be arranged in a width of 45 to 60 cm more on either side than the design width of the base course of the structure. 3. On this bottom layer of planks, rectangular timber sections of suitable size are laid at about 35 cm center to center. 4. Then the top layer of planks, usually 8 to 10 cm in thickness, is arranged side by side with weight equal to that of the base course of the structure that is to be built over it. 5. On the timber platform that is prepared, the structure in the form of a timber column or even a masonry wall is built. Timber grillage foundation also we have seen in our previous class. If you've forgotten it, you can refer to those videos. Next, suitability of steel grillage foundation. Steel grillage foundations are useful for structures like columns, spires, stanchions subjected to heavy concentrated loads and hence are employed for foundations of the buildings such as theatres, factories, towns, halls, etc. So timber grillage foundation is usually provided for timber columns subjected to heavy concentrated loads. So this type of grillage foundation can also be safely used for light buildings where the soil encountered is soft and is permanently waterlogged. The next type of foundation is ref foundation. This is common and I am sure many of you have seen it, all of you have seen it. So the foundation consisting of a thick RCC slab covering the whole area of a mat is known as mat foundation. The method of construction of mat or reft foundation. Mat foundation is also known as ref foundation. So number 1, in ref foundation construction, the whole area is dug out to the specified depth and 30 cm more wide than the area to be covered. 2. The bed is compacted and sprinkled over with water. 3. A layer of lime concrete or lean concrete in the ratio of 1:8:16 is laid to a suitable thickness to act as a bottom cover. Number 4. After this, the reinforcement is laid. So the reinforcement consists of closely spaced bars placed at right angles to each other. 5. Then the cement concrete in the ratio of 1:2:4 is laid and compacted to the required thickness. 6. The concrete slab so laid is then properly cured. So curing is very important. 7. When loads are excessive, thick concrete beams running under the columns can also be constructed. So suitability of this type of foundation for ref foundation. This type of foundation is useful for public buildings and office buildings, school buildings, residential quarters, etc. where the ground conditions are very poor and bearing power of the soil is so low that the individual spread footing cannot be provided. So with relation to this ref foundation, we'll see video after the end of this lecture. Next one, step foundation. Another type of foundation is step foundation. For step foundation construction, excavation is done into steps having short length and uniform thickness, and the masonry work is done on the horizontal bed of concrete that is prepared. So if there is any possibility of slipping of the structure bodily, RCC piles can be driven along its base concrete on the sloping side. Next, inverted arc foundation. So the foundation consisting of inverted the foundation consisting of inverted arcs between the piers is known as inverted arc foundation. So in this type of foundation, the load from the piers is transferred to the soil by constructing arcs in inverted position. As you can see here in the picture, inverted position at their base. So the rise of the inverted arcs is about 1/5 to 1/10 of the span and they are usually built in half brick rings. So the position of arcs may be either along the row of piers or across the row of piers in both the directions depending upon the nature of soil and the type of land to be taken by them. So in this picture you can see the build is in half brick rings. So arcs are built in half brick rings and also in inverted position at the base. So their method of construction is, for constructing this type of foundation, excavation is done to the required depth. The bottom of the excavation is leveled and compacted. Then the foundation concrete is laid to the required thickness and finished according to the layout of the arcs to be constructed under the piers. The arc rings, usually half brick thick, are then built in cement mortar and piers are constructed. The end pier should be designed and constructed to take the outward thrust caused by arc action. Next, suitability. So this type of foundation is not commonly used for buildings, but it is quite suitable for other structures like bridges, reservoirs, tanks, supports for drainage lines, etc. The next topic is the foundation. The foundation constructed sufficiently below the ground level with some artificial arrangements such as piles, wells, etc. at their base are called deep foundations. So deep foundation is further classified into pile foundation, well foundation and caisson foundation. So here we'll basically study about mainly pile foundation. So what's the pile foundation? It is a spread footing on grillage supported on piles. And a pile foundation usually consists of a base of spread footing or grillage supported by piles at their bottom. So piles distribute the load of structure to the soil in contact either by friction alone or by friction combined with bearing at their ends. We'll understand it more clearly after watching the video. Suitability. So this type of foundation is suitable under the following four situations. Number one, when the soil is very soft and solid base is not available at a reasonable depth to keep the bearing power within safe limits. When the grillage and ref foundation are very expensive. When the building is very high, carrying heavy concentrated load, and when it is necessary to construct a building along the seashore or riverbed. So that's all for this lecture. Now you can give your attendance along with your name and enrollment ID in the chat box. We'll also go through four videos. Sorry, you'll go through 4 videos if time permits, and if it not, then we'll continue the remaining videos in our next continued class. Okay. So that's all for this class, this lecture. Thank you.